the future of nuclear power in the United States, especially after the Japan problem?
Well, it's TBD, to be determined. It is certainly static for now in the sense that irrespective of Japan, this natural gas boom we spoke of has taken the legs out of almost every other power source.
By lowering the cost.
By lowering the cost. It is so much cheaper now than nuclear. So again, you have to ask yourself the strategic question as an externality. Right. Sometimes we just rattle off nuclear like it's in a litany of options. The truth is, if you sort of take back the clock to your dad and my parents, and the splitting of the atom was as miraculous in many ways as walking on the moon. Right. This is the country that did it, and we have the oldest nuclear fleet in the world, and so strategically, what are we going to do about it? It's 20% of our energy now, and so the strategic choice is, do we value diversification, even as attractive as natural gas is, and if so, how do we preserve the nuclear industry? And if we don't, and we say, well, it's a free market, let it go, the question is, how significant are these scientific achievements that generations fought for?
Presidential race much in the news already. What is whoever the next president may be, what does the next president face when it comes to the energy situation for the U.S.?
Well, I think the next president's going to face what the last president, the president before him faced, is a situation of increasing and dire urgency. Mm-hmm. And the question is, will they have the luxury or the cushion to ignore it, or to skirt by on distraction, or to get by with platitudes, or will we be actually bearing the consequences of not having dealt with it? So this problem gets bigger year after year, and the next president in particular is going to be facing a world where people are driving up the price of oil and other commodities because of less value in our currency and less worth in our public balance sheets. And so that is going to be a dilemma about volatility versus bringing our domestic resources to bear as aggressively as ever before.
You were an advisor to a president, President Bush, who actually came out of the energy industry. The next president, whoever it may be, probably isn't going to come out of the energy industry, because I don't see any of the major candidates who have done so. How would you explain the problem to the next president in a way that somebody who didn't come out of the industry can quickly grasp?
Well, I get asked it by a few of the candidates now, so I'm not sure I'm explaining it correctly. But I will tell you that they have got to understand that the market alone will not solve this problem. Putting the market into a consistent rule set for consistent, continuous capital formation and investment in U.S. technologies and resources will solve the problem. But only policy can make a difference to national strategy. It is beyond the market's time frame, typically 10 years or less. This is a multi-decade, stick-with-it, Cold War kind of challenge. And we've got to posture ourselves in a forward-leaning place and not with the complacency of where we've been for the last century.